Hey guys, this is Ben, Fat Preacher Man, and I'm recording this to talk to you about this series of videos I have. And actually, I'm kind of doing this out of order because I've already started the series. But in the playlist, I'm going to put this first. And the series is about managing, learning to lead, and it's just me sharing experiences, best practices, and any wisdom or knowledge that I've picked up on managing and leading over the years. As I mentioned before, I have been a manager in many, many different types of restaurants: store leader, store manager, store coach, whatever you want to call it nowadays. And I started as a crew person at McDonald's, worked my way up to store manager there, assistant district manager. Did everything at McDonald's, and like I said, I've worked at lots of different places: retail, catering companies, all sorts of things. So again, from my schooling, from actual on-the-job experience, I just wanted to share what worked for me and what I always try to teach my people that were coming up underneath me, that I hired or that were put in place for me to teach. And again, these things, I always found them useful, and people that I helped train, they found them useful. So I want to impart that to you. And if you have questions, if there's any topics I don't cover, please message me, email me, let me know what you think, what questions you have. If I say anything that you disagree with, discussion is great. But again, this is, all about how to groom yourself as a leader. And sometimes you can find yourself thrust into a position and you haven't really been trained for it. And you have to decide, is this something I really want to do? And I always found myself in those management positions, and I wanted to. When I first was offered a management position, I was very hesitant. I didn't think I was qualified, didn't think I would be able to do it. But once I got into it, I found that, I might not have known everything, but it made the job better because I had more impact. I had more control. And now, unless you own the business, you're not always going to have 100% control. But having more control lets you feel like, I don't know, it's this nice feeling. And it's a double-edged sword because you have this positive feeling of things are going right, yay, good me, my team is doing well. Then when things go bad, they reflect on you also. And depending upon who you report to, depends upon how that experience is going to be. And as me trying to teach you these things, I can't control that. Only you know what your supervisor's like. Only you know the amount of effort you put into your work. Obviously, not everybody's going to do the same job and have the same standards. Only you can set your standards for whatever level you want them to be at. For me, some of the things I cover, for example, are attitude. The right attitude on a job is going to make all the difference. So if you look at the job and just continually beat yourself up saying, I'm not qualified, I can't do this, that's going to carry out into your job. It's going to bleed through. People are going to see it. And it's going to be really hard to get positive results. But instead, if you're honest and say, I may not know everything, but everybody in this company started that way. People just don't start out knowing how to manage and how to lead. It's a skill. Some people are inherently better at it, but that doesn't mean that everybody can't learn how to do it if they apply themselves. So again, using some of these techniques, and there's lots of books out there. There's lots of there's classes, degrees in business management. So, this is not a be-all, end-all. This is just, again, I don't want to say it's a course, but it's just some videos and a specific topic so you can look through the different ones. If there's something that oh, I'm curious about that, or I need some pointers on that. And again, if I don't answer what you're looking for, then hit me up. Message me, put a message on there. That way I can answer it on the video. And others who might have the same question can get their question answered. Because there's a lot that goes into these topics. And most of these are 7 to 9 minute videos. So I'm not going to be able to cover everything because I don't know what everybody's going through. And different businesses have different policies. Even though every business has what they call labor projections, which means how much of your finances that come in from your sales go out to pay your people. But depending upon the business model and how the company is set up, there will be different ways for forecasting that and budgeting it and reconciling it. At McDonald's, we had to keep on top of it every 15 minutes. You could pull it up. I could pull it up from home on my computer. The shift leader would go back to the computer, pull it up, and we would make adjustments on the fly. Sometimes businesses just run by the hour. How many hours are you scheduled? And you really don't make many adjustments during the day or during the week. They're more monthly and retroactive, as opposed to, like I said, McDonald's. If you were not making sales and your hours weren't lining up, we made cuts right then and there. Somebody on break, we're so slow, send somebody home. Tell somebody not to come in. Those were types of adjustments for fast food, because fast food is a penny business. And every penny that comes in, you have to account for, and you have to account for how it's being spent. But some businesses have decided that, hey, we're going to budget these many hours for these many projected sales, and then weekly they might make adjustments. Oh, last week you didn't make budget, you were under in sales, so I need you to cut this many hours for this week. And that's one way to do it. Again, you have to find out from your business, your company, which way your hours are budgeted, which way your hours are reconciled, and how much input and control you have upon it. If you're a shift manager just starting out, you might only control your shift, or might only control yourself still. But as a store leader, that's definitely going to fall under your purview. As a assistant, it should be definitely something that you stay on top of. Letting your boss know that you care about these things, you're aware of them, that this is how your store is profitable by not spending too much on labor. There's a balance. You don't want to cut too much, but you don't want to have too much. Again, that's one topic again. So things like that. That's what this whole series is about. It's about talking about things like that and allowing you guys to ask questions. Again, so if you want to know what I've done, I've lost count of the number of jobs I've had. The one I had the longest was McDonald's. Started that when I was 16, worked my way up. Worked in city stores, worked in suburb stores, all sorts of things. I think the busiest store I ran was a $3.5 million store with a crew of almost 60 people. I've worked in retail, like I said. I worked in a video game retail store that went out of business now. It went out of business after I left. It's actually called Game Crazy. It was connected to Hollywood Video. When Hollywood Video went under, it pulled them under too. I worked at Arby's, worked at Atlanta Bread, worked at Einstein Bagels, worked at Rent-A-Center, bunch of different places. Blockbuster Video. So, bunch of different places. And like I said, for quite a few of them, I was a store manager. So store manager lets you see the business from a different point of view. Assistants can see a lot, but a store manager, when you sit down with the district manager or the regional manager and you see things from that point of view, and they give you that feedback in your P&L or your general ledger, and you see where your bills are going, it lets you see things from a different point of view. So if you got any questions about that or want to know any more about my background, just let me know. Again, this has been Ben, Fat Preacher Man. Hope you have a great day. Jesus bless you.